Okay, so you're considering moving to the Salt Lake City area or perhaps even the city itself. Salt Lake City is the largest city in the state of Utah, and in this video, I'm going to share the 5 most essential facts that you need to know if you're considering moving to Salt Lake City or the surrounding areas. And Salt Lake City, being my hometown, is a place that I hold near and dear to my heart. I think it's one of the most incredible cities in the country, and it offers so many different things for so many different people, regardless of your lifestyle, regardless of your interest, and I really truly believe that there's something here for everyone. So if that's you, you're considering making that move to Salt Lake City or the surrounding areas, this video's for you. Stay tuned. All right, to kick things off, let's get the first thing out of the way. Salt Lake City has a reputation for being the place where all the Mormons live. Because Salt Lake City was founded by Mormon pioneers and it is the headquarters of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, many people believe that Salt Lake City itself is a very different city, and in fact, it could not be further from the truth. Utah in general is a much more conservative state than most, as well as the members of the faith really live outside of the city. The downtown area of Salt Lake City is a much more diverse place with more people from all over the place than you might expect. And Salt Lake City provides both an urban experience as well as an outdoor lifestyle because the outdoors are literally in your backyard. Now, I believe that what makes Salt Lake City a special place is its history. It is the way that Salt Lake City was settled, and it started in 1847 when the first settlers arrived here in the valley and determined to make this their new home, and they started right in Salt Lake City. Salt Lake City is a special place with a special and unique history, unlike any other American city, and for that reason, the #1 visited tourist destination in the state of Utah is not the national parks. It is not Zion National Park or Bryce Canyon or Arches. It is Temple Square, where people can go and experience the history of what this state was founded upon and how that history shapes today and the future of the state of Utah. Now, over the last 4 years, the Salt Lake City Temple and Temple Square have been under major construction. They've completely shut down the temple for use, and it's going to go on for a couple more years, but the construction efforts that they're putting into preserving this temple for hundreds or even thousands of years is absolutely astounding. They're preparing and retrofitting this particular building to be earthquake-proof, regardless of the size of the earthquake, and they're also updating and renovating every aspect of the temple as well as the grounds around the temple on Temple Square. And although I don't know the budget, I don't know the numbers because it's private, this is a private entity, a nonprofit organization in the church, and they don't disclose how much money they're spending on the project, but my suspicion is it's in the billions, and it just might be one of the largest and most expensive construction projects ever to take place in the state of Utah. Because when you're building a new building, it's actually much more predictable and cost efficient than when you're going into a near 150-year-old building to retrofit it with modern technology, and for that reason, it's incredibly expensive. So, with all that said, how do people make the move to Utah and fit in? Here in Utah, people that are members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints prefer to not be called Mormons. That's kind of a derogatory nickname that was given to them before they even came to Utah. But if you look at the makeup of the state, 42% of the state of Utah identifies as members of that faith. Does that mean there's not room for other faiths? Of course not. In fact, the relationships that they have with other faiths here in the city and throughout the state of Utah is pretty profound, and it's pretty cool what they do together. And I believe that there's something here for everybody, regardless of what faith you are, or if you don't practice any religion at all. I think there's a great place to fit in regardless. And one of the top concerns that people do have is, how am I going to fit into these certain neighborhoods? Which neighborhoods or cities might I fit in better over a different place? Or most importantly, how are my children going to fit in? Now, a lot of the negative comments that you might read online is quite antiquated in terms of what Utah used to be, but Utah has changed dramatically over the last 5, 10, and 20 years to the point where most people that live here never experience those things, and you're likely going to find a great way to fit in. And of course, there are bad people everywhere. There are some people that are just judgmental or religious zealots everywhere. That happens in any place that you might live. But I do think and know from experience from all of my clients that the overarching sentiment is that people here are incredibly friendly and welcoming to people that are moving here. So I just wanted to get that religious aspect out of the way. And in a coming video, I'm going to talk at length with a number of people that have made the move here to Utah. And I want to talk about specifically what is it like moving to Utah as a non-Mormon. So look for that video coming in the future. It's one that I'm really preparing for and taking a lot of time to make sure that I get it right. All right, the second thing that you must know when making the move to Salt Lake City or the surrounding areas is what is the job market like? Now, not everybody works in the tech industry. There are plenty of other industries that are thriving here in the state of Utah, including financial services, healthcare, aerospace and defense, as well as advanced manufacturing, and so much more, including outdoor-related businesses. And all of these industries stretch themselves far beyond just Salt Lake City. So you can live in Provo, you can live in Ogden, you can live in Park City and have all of these different types of companies right there in your backyard. So it really does matter where you're working, what your industry is, what your skill set is, to make sure that you're identifying the best possible place where you're going to land and make your new home. And overall, Salt Lake City is a phenomenal place for opportunity and job growth. As Utah is leading the nation in this aspect, it is the #1 best state in the country, ranked overall, and jobs and opportunities play a major role in that ranking. All right, number 3, you need to understand what it means to have 4 distinct seasons. I have people moving here each and every day from California, from Arizona, from Texas, from Florida, New York, and here in Utah, we have a different climate. It's dry, it's arid, but we get a lot of snow up in the mountains in the wintertime, and we definitely get the hot summers as well as the cold winters, but because we don't have humidity in the air, the hot doesn't feel as hot, the cold doesn't feel quite as cold, but most importantly, we do have 4 seasons. Now, locally, there's kind of a joke that says there are only 2 seasons in Utah. We have ski season and construction season, but in reality, we do have and experience all 4 seasons. I will add, however, that springtime and fall can oftentimes be quite bipolar. You might have weather like we're having right now. Just up until just a few days ago, we were having high temperatures up in the upper 80s, and it was sunny and very warm. It was beautiful. And now fall finally hit, and now we're down in the 50s, and we have that cool, calm, crisp autumn air, and it's kind of cool, but it's not for everybody. Personally, I love having the 4 seasons, and I think my least favorite part about living here in those 4 seasons is probably January and February, because by the time Christmas hits and New Year's hits, I'm kind of over winter in terms of the cold air, and those winter inversions can kick in and make the air quality really poor in the city. So overall, January and February are some of the ugliest and worst months to be in Utah, unless of course you're taking advantage of world-class snow sports, including skiing and snowboarding. And it just so happens that January and February are the months when the vast majority of the people come into Utah for that very reason, along with the Sundance Film Festival and all the things that happen here in the state of Utah in the wintertime. Because overall, Utah is a winter playground, and it's something really to behold for yourself. If you're making the move here, I would encourage you to go experience something. Regardless of your ability, get up in those mountains, experience the beauty of nature in the wintertime in Utah. And I think the best way to tackle autumn and springtime is to just have layers, have different options with you, so that regardless of what the weather's choosing to do, you can be comfortable, you can be warm, or you can take layers off if it's a little hot. So that's the best way to tackle the 4 seasons here. And I think most people that are making the move here love the fact that we have all 4 seasons, because in many states, they don't get to experience that. All right, the next thing you need to know, number 4, if you're making the move to the Salt Lake City area, is how incredibly important the outdoors are to our lifestyle and how important it is to just life in general. We have these beautiful Wasatch Mountains right in our backyard. We have so many opportunities to just get out into nature. And why is this so important? For me personally, as I sit here in my office, I have a wall of glass windows right here to my right, and I get to look and stare right at those mountains because they're right outside of my window. And And as I look at those beautiful mountains, I think how incredibly blessed we are to have something so incredible. And if we feel the need of a little mental health, all we have to do is just check those things out, because in my opinion, those mountains equate to mental health. You just have to look at them, appreciate them, get up into those mountains, go on a hike, go on a walk, go experience nature. It's really a great way to complement your lifestyle. And studies show that if you live close to a beach or to mountains, your mental health is better, your happiness levels are higher, and you live longer. So for those reasons alone, I think Utah is doing great. Granted, we don't have beaches, but we do have the best mountains in the country in terms of the proximity to the metropolitan areas, and it's unmatched. There's no other city in the country that you can get up into the mountains in such a short amount of time with such ease and to experience what nature provides. Now, some of the most popular places to get outdoors include Park City. Now, personally, I like the Cottonwood Canyons the most, whether it's in the summertime to go on a hike up to Donut Falls perhaps, or even hike up to a lake. I also really like Mill Creek Canyon because there are some really cool hikes and biking trails up Mill Creek Canyon. Regardless of what canyon you go up, there are so many cool things: lakes, mountain biking, skiing, snowboarding, snowshoeing, snowmobiling, ATVs. It doesn't matter what you're into. There's really cool opportunities right up in those mountains. So I would encourage anyone to make sure that they make that part of their life and their journey as they choose to make Utah their new home. All right, number 5, you've got to understand the cost of living in Salt Lake City as well as Utah, and you've got to understand how that impacts the real estate market. The real estate market is constantly evolving. Each and every month, it can be different. So that's why you need a really good real estate professional. And this is precisely why I've chosen to build a real estate team centered around helping people with relocation, with new construction, and purchasing existing homes here in Utah. We absolutely love connecting with you. So if you're looking to make that move yourself, I would encourage you to get in touch with us. Whether you're making the move in 2 weeks, 2 months, or even 2 years, there's no time too early to get in touch with us to make sure that we can give you proper guidance. So you can find my information down below, as well as a link to book a video call with me in the pinned comment on this and every video. So I would really encourage you to do that and make sure that you connect with a really good relocation specialist to make sure that this move is smooth for you as well. And overall, Salt Lake City and the surrounding areas have a booming real estate market. It's very dynamic, but it's also competitive. So we have to make sure that we give you the best possible advice to make sure that we're meeting your goals, to make sure you land in the right place, and make sure that you can make that new house a home. And one of my favorite things to help people with in terms of making the move here, most people that are moving here are buying a home, but there are a big number of people that are choosing to rent first. We love helping you just the same. It doesn't matter if you're renting first or just buying right away. We would love the opportunity to connect with you. And my team and I, as always, would love to be your real estate resource of choice. Get in touch with us. You can find my contact information in the description below. And if this is the type of content that resonates with you and helps you, I would absolutely love it if you hit that subscribe button, because it helps me get in front of more people just like you. And it's the best thank you that I could ever get if this is the type of content that is really helping you. And if you're looking for something specific, drop a comment below, because I read and reply to each and every comment. Drop a comment and let me know what you would like me to share, and I will absolutely address and answer every single question that pops up. And if you're looking to learn more about life in Utah, check out this playlist next. And until the next video, thanks.